Hi there, my name is Akosia and welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel, we will learn how to use PostgreSQL to derive insights from business data. In this video, we're going to figure out how to track department performance by quarter. So we have a data set with employee performance in their given departments, and we want to analyze how each department has performed with regards to the target set and the actual value achieved per quarter. So let's derive these insights from our data with PostgreSQL. So the first thing that we'll do is to look into our data and see what exactly does our data contain. So we are going to use a select all from command to look into our data table. So our data table is called employee performance. So we are going to do a select all from employee performance. Performance. Okay. Running this, we see our table has an employee ID, which is a primary key. We have the names of our employees. We have a department. We have the target value set in terms of what the department or what the person was supposed to achieve. Now we have what they actually achieved, the target period to achieve this actual value, and then the type of targets that they're supposed to achieve. So rather than looking at performance across various employees, we are looking at performance across the departments. So we'll start by aggregating our actual values and our target values, since we are looking at performance across departments and not across employees. So we can start off by applying a sum function to our target values, and then let's alias this as target. Then we're going to do the same for actual values and also aliases as actual. So this gives us a clearer understanding of what the department was shooting for and what versus what they actually achieved. So we're also going to alias this as actual. To ensure this is more intuitive, let's select a few columns to help us identify which department this belongs to, and also what type of target this value is for. So we are going to select our departments and then our target type. So whenever we use an aggregate function like a sum, we always remember to use our group by, or else we would get an error. So we would group by our department, and our target type. Oh, so we left out a comma. So put the comma there. Okay. So now we can see our departments. We can see the various targets that each department was set out to achieve. We can see the target value that they needed to hit, and we can see the actual value that they achieved. Now, reading this is not very intuitive. You don't get it straight away by looking right at this. Again, we have also not introduced a quarter basis. So we are trying to understand how the departments performed per quarter. So let's do this one after the other. We are going to introduce our time periods into this. So we put in our date parts. We use the date parts function to extract the given time period. So with our date path function, we are able to extract a quarter from our time value, which is our period, I believe. But to be sure that this is for period, let us go into our data tables and look at what the column is actually called. Okay, this is the wrong database. So go into our SQL tutorial database, go into public. We are working with our employee performance data table. So in columns, we see, okay, so our period is called our target period and not just period. So we use a correct name, target period. Okay. Okay, let us alias this as quarter. Since this is also not an aggregate function, we need to add it into our group by clause. So now we see for each quarter, we see our department, the target type, the target's value that they were supposed to achieve, and the actual value that they were supposed to achieve. We can make this more detailed. We can make this easier to understand by adding a column that shows whether the target was achieved or the target was not achieved. When reading the table, you can just look to that column and see whether the department was able to achieve their targets for that target type. So we're going to do this by using the case when clause. So we put in a case when. Now for the case when, what we are saying is if the actual value surpasses the target value, then we say the department has achieved the set target type. So we are going to do when the sum of the targets, or when the sum of the actual value, when the sum of our actual value, sum of our actual value is greater than the sum of the target value, we can then say the target has been achieved. Else, we say they failed, or the department failed to achieve the target. Now we end this in a new column called status. So let's end as a new column called status. Great. So let's run this. Okay. So now here we see for customer service on the target type called customer satisfaction, they had a target of 60, but they achieved a value of 157 in quarter 2. So now we see here that they have actually achieved their target. For operations, they had a target type of sales targets, and they had a target of 204 to achieve, but they achieved 479 in quarter 4. So we see achieved. We can make this more detailed by adding the year value so we know exactly which year of which quarter this target was either achieved or not achieved. So we're going to add another date part clause. And this date part clause will allow us to extract our year value. So let's put in year again from target period, because that is our time or date value, as year. We also need to add this to our group by clause because it is not part of an aggregate function. Okay, so we see we have an error somewhere. We forgot to put in a comma after this. Remember your commas, they are very important. So now we see the year. So marketing in the year 2023, in the second quarter of 2023, had to hit a target of 264 for customer satisfaction, but they actually hit a value of 387. So they achieved the target. Operations in the year 2022, in the final quarter of 2022, had to achieve a target of 151 for task completion, but they hit a value of 149, meaning they failed to achieve their target of task completion. How can we make this table better? We realize that we can order our quarter values and year values so that they are in a specific order, which makes it easier to read it. For example, we can have it such that 2023 values are coming first or final quarter values are coming first. So let's add that to our query by an order by statement. So let's order by first. Let's order by quarter and then the year in descending order. Year in descending order. So now we are seeing that our year 2023 is coming first, and then we are having our quarters coming in ascending order. So in the first quarter of 2023, we see that the sales team failed to achieve their customer satisfaction targets. We can further group and order this so that we see the different target types together and we see our different departments with the various target types. This will further make our table easier to read. So we can add to our order by clause by adding target type ordering and also a department ordering. So now what we see is all our various target types for each department has been grouped. So now our first target type, let me make this larger. So when we look at our target type of customer satisfaction, we see all the various departments that had to achieve the customer satisfaction targets. We see the targets that they were supposed to reach. We see the actual targets that they reached. We see the various quarters in which they were supposed to reach these targets. We see the years in which they were also supposed to reach these targets. And now we can read whether they have achieved or failed to achieve this target. So for instance, our customer service team in the final quarter of the year 2022 had to achieve a value of 104 for their customer satisfaction target. And they achieved 113, meaning they've actually achieved the target. So ordering the table and grouping by helps our data to be clearer and it's easier to read and understand the insights generated from our data. I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section and I will respond to you. And if you have to do any task of this type, this video or this piece of code can help you achieve similar results. Until the next time, bye.